Hi everybody, welcome to another tutorial on BeepStreet Drambo, the modular groovebox. In this video I would like to show you how you can use the sampler module. So let's click on the plus sign, let's go on the generator, and under sampler you have also the option to select a sampler. In a previous video we looked at the flexi sampler. Today we look at the different sampler. So first of all, before we click on the sampler, you can also click on preset, which practically will give you the option of loading the sampler with some of the waveforms already preloaded, hence the word preset. So for example, you can click under instruments and go to a lead 2000, and here we are. We have, let's enable the keys. So we see also the keyboard. And here you have your sampler with, if you click on the edit here, with a waveform which has been loaded. But before we continue on the waveform editor, let's look at the controls. So you have a pitch. So let's change the pitch and so standard pitch. So we have an attack. So you can hear the attack is changing. It's getting longer for the note to raise. You can also increase the decay. You can change the amplitude. You can change the sustain after the decay, after the attack and decay have occurred. So it's gone down very low level. And you can also increase or decrease the release, which is when you release, of course, the key from the keyboard. Let go. So you can see it takes longer. And then you can also act to the how velocity is impacted as well when you're playing. So now let's have a look at the edit waveform. So you have a menu where you can load folders with all the samples. You can remove zones because the sampler gives you the ability to load samples for different zones, and also multi-sample based on the velocity settings. And of course you can save also your sample as the name you want to give. You have here the loading of a sample. If you click on it, you can load a new sample. You can play the sample. Oops. The sample which is of course selected, and you can record a new sample, which I'll show you in a moment. Here is where it shows you the range for what has been selected here. We have also the root. So for example, if you move the root here, you can see the root changes there. You can set this to be in a particular mode, which I'll show you in a moment, in terms of forward loop, etc. And you can set the volume, and you can also zoom in and out in terms of what you see on the screen. Okay, you click again on the plus sign to go back to the original views on the sample versus the regions. As always, you have an offset and you have a start of a loop and an end of a loop which you can change. Now let's remove all zone, which will give us an empty effectively instrument. So you click on it, nothing happens. So let's now click and drag to create a region, like so. It will say now that the root is C#2. Let's move that to the left. So you said it's C2. The range is from C2 to A#2. Well, let's change the range, click and hold, and let's go to B2 so we cover an octave. Now let's load the sample. Let's choose, for example, a kick. We can audition some of them. When we're happy with one, selecting it will load it. So now if we click on the keyboard, you have your sample loaded for these for the range you selected. So if I go to A, B1, it will not play because it's outside that range. As well, if I go to a C3, it will not play because it's outside that range. Now I could create another range like so. Root C3, range C3 to B3. We can load the sample. And let's say we go to snare. Let's click on this one. Let me load this one because I want to show you also the different modes. So let's select it and it will load it here. So as you can see, you have different snare sound in here. So if I click, of course you change up the notes on the keyboard and it will change also the pitch. Now let's focus on this. At the moment it's set as a mode forward, so it will play left to right, but you can also change it to loop. See what happens. As I hold the key down, it will loop, always in a forward direction, of course based on the setting of tack, decay, sustain, release. And in the main screen of the sampler, I can set it to go to loop ping pong, so you go back and forward, forward and backward. So you can go like that and back. I can also say, well, do it as a chromatic slice. So you can see it's created automatically slices as in the Flexi sampler if you saw that video. And now as you click on the keyboard, it will move from one slice to the other. Which can come very handy if you have a waveform which contains different parts you can use or you want to use chromatically on your keyboard. You can also set it as a velocity slide, so based on the velocity you use on your keyboard, it will change the slice, or you can have to play random slides. Let's set it to forward for now. So, and let's load perhaps a default sample like this one. Yeah, that will do. Okay, so, and here is where the fun starts. So effectively I have now 2 regions. I'm using the 4 different regions for velocity as one, but I could actually create, for example, only one region for one velocity, like so. In this case for C4, C5, root C4. And in there I could load again another sample, so for example a vocal. And so when I go above B3, it will play the loop which I just loaded. Again, let's move to another region like so. Just for fun. Yeah, here we go. Now instead of loading a sample, let's record it. So test and click again. Let's play. Oops, sorry.
Test.
Here we go.
Test. 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 Test.
So I recorded a
Test.
sample, which I can also save from the menu here, save as sample. So as you can see, you can create easily a sample preset which contains different samples for different region. You have 4 different zone or velocity regions you can further set up, okay, which can be handy if you want to use a multi-sampled instrument. Other things which we haven't seen here, you have the usual loading for your samples, which I showed you a moment ago. You can create, as always, a folder, import a sample, export it, or import the entire folder with all samples in it. So very powerful instrument, very powerful module that you can use in your recording, because
Test. Test.
so I'm sure you can have great fun. And if you load these as AUV3 inside a host like AUM, and you can have a lot of fun, not only creating a multi-sampled instrument like a piano, but also to create probably more innovative preset. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video and see you next time. Bye.